Hello everyone, my name is AP the Weird One, and we are back with more Digimon Liberator. We're going to be most likely doing Debug 19, Fury Fist Part 2. But before we begin that, we got some Digimon news to discuss. First off, I want to talk a little bit about Digimon Time Stranger, in that Digimon Time Stranger is going to have DMVO. So I don't think it's a deal breaker, but it definitely could, some people could have a problem with it. It didn't cause a problem for Stellar Blade, so take that as you will. But just something to incorporate. It seems like BS to add. Basically, it's more effective performance. It doesn't seem like a good thing, and why they need it is beyond me. But take that as you will. But the other thing I want to discuss is the Evolutionary Alliance. There's a couple of Digimon that caught my attention that I'm not exactly happy about in terms of where they're going to go. One of them being Shakomon. I'm disappointed they can't become /Angemon. So, and this is from the data mines, whatever they've done with the demo. This could change. Some of it feels very incomplete, but I feel Shakomon not becoming /Angemon is a slight disappointment, but there is a funny gimmick with it. I don't know. I feel like if you choose Patamon, you're not going to necessarily go for that. The other thing that kind of bugs me is Musaimon has no access to his Mega Zombamon. There is an ultimate they could use that they have in the game that's really good, but it's not as bad as the next contender. I just wish there was a more direct line path. You just have to de-Digivolve back to Kodamon and then do the Dino Humon. I don't know. I wish it had access to this other ultimate. The thing that really bugs me, though, is the fact that Tapirmon, a Digimon I really like, he's one of my favorite rookies, he can't become Mammon. So I guess you could throw that to down. You could tell that it becomes Bakimon, Unimon, Meramon, Cupimon, and Garurumon. And I don't really have a problem with this, but there's none of them can become Mamimon, which the only Digimon that can become it are Goemon, Frigimon, Monochromon, and Mogiamon. And I'm kind of the opinion that they should at least replace either Unimon or Garurumon with Frigimon. Monochromon, maybe you could replace Cubimon, but one of the reasons they should replace at least one of them or switch it out is because over half, basically 90% of Tapirmon's line gets access to Blue Meramon. And I'm like, do we really need access to all that? Especially considering the leaks have shown that Blue Meramon only has access to 2 megas. I'm like, really? I don't know. It seems like there's a lot that have it. Like, some of it could even be reduced down. I don't know. We still have a couple weeks ahead, and maybe they could fix it, but dear God, I would love some switching out. I don't know, maybe from Meramon you can't switch out, but where Garurumon I think is the one that probably should get the change around, I guess, or Unimon gets Mammon. I would replace either Blue Meramon with Unimon, or switch out or give Unimon an extra Mammon. Just because of the flight, all he got is flying. I'm like, you don't have anything ground based. I don't know. It really irritates me, and it is not a really fast lineage to get to Mammon. Like you have to de-Digivolve, I guess, into Gabumon, and then Digivolve into Ikakumon, and then go to Gomamon. There's just not a very super fast way of doing it. Like, you have to go through a convoluted route. It irritates me. I'm like, I love Tapirmon. Tapirmon needs to become Mammon somehow. And the fact that it has so many of these Digimon that have Tapirmon, I think I would dump Garurumon and just go Frigimon, because it's not necessary. You could easily deal with that. I don't know. That's just personally me. I don't know why Tapirmon was given so much access to Blue Meramon. Just holy crap. And I would say, switch out Cubimon, but, there's only, 2 other Digimon that Digivolve into it. I guess Gabumon and Renamon. So it's not that end of the world, but, I really want some fixes with Tapirmon. Let Tabiermon become Mamon. And his de facto champion, 8mon, is not in there. Which, if it did get added, like, okay, cool. It could swap out something, but it isn't in here. Why can't I get it? Like, it would be cool, like a cool DLC, but I don't think there's even if Black Garurumon was added, I don't think there's a chance it could become it. But man, I would love some switching out. I wouldn't even mind switching out for like Bakemon into Blue Garurumon. I don't know. I understand it's like Nightmare Soldiers. The other thing I do want to talk about is I don't think there's a couple things I want to talk about, but I don't think we're gonna get Arcadiamon in Hacker Slumber. So that was something I was looking forward to in this pack. I think it's not coming. And then the final thing, there's a Digimon Expo that's going to be on the 19th this week. And there's a few things that to be keeping out for. There is the September 20th. The things that I'll be looking out for is 12 p.m. or like 7 p.m. It'd be 8 p.m. American time for us, like Arizona and Californian people. Digimon Elysian, and then the latest goods in Time Stranger. That might take for a while. And then day 2, which would be Saturday for us, would have a card game. So there's some stuff that I'm looking forward to. I just think it's gonna be like a long time. They might have it shorter. I'm not 100% sure. An hour for everything seems like a whoa. I think they could definitely tighten it up and make it a little bit less. But those are the things I'm concerned about. I'll be definitely watching it and checking it out. But without further ado, let us see what the next chapter entails. Yep, Fury Past Part 2. All right, let me take a quick drink. Next time, I'm coming to Japan. Unchained had yet to take control of Digimon Liberator, nor had Yuki and the others ventured toward Cross Connexia. Ryoto Williams sat behind his gaming desk where he let out a yell. His ears were immediately greeted by exaggerated sigh coming from his headset. Hey, why do you have to shout? It hurts my ears. Hey, come on, Aruba. It's your country. You can go wherever you want. It doesn't bother me. Come on, man. I mean, like, we could meet up. Don't kid yourself. We're not that close. Knowing that the person in the comms couldn't see him, Ryoto gave an over-the-top shrug of his shoulders and replied to the curt words. Dokusan Aruba, the ringleader group of hackers who Ryoto was tasked by the debugging team with shutting down. After a card battle with Ryoto, his account was frozen, preventing him from being able to log into Lacuna. Ryoto couldn't just kick him out and move on, so he sent him his contact info before the freeze. It was a shot in the dark, and Ryoto didn't honestly expect him to take the offer. But surprisingly enough, Aruba did eventually reach out. Luckily, Aruba could speak Ryoto's native tongue, so the two would occasionally battle over a webcam. That's a direct attack. Why were you talking about that? I won the game. Dang it, I lost. As Aruba's Digimon dealt the lethal blow, Ryoto held his head in his hands. He's always been a strong player, but he tends to make loose plays when he senses the win. Lately, he's been improving in that aspect. When Ryoto cracked down on him for cheating, he boasted it was child's play, that he could do something similar somewhere else as much as he liked. Despite his claims, though, he didn't seem to pursue this, instead applying himself to the Digimon card game. You're getting pretty good, Aruba. Was that meant to be sarcastic? Well, I'm glad to hear you finally accept that your win was a merely fluke. I don't think I'd go that far. I'll win the next one. Aruba sighed loudly enough as to be unmistakable, to which Ryoto let out a forced laugh. They only spoke maybe once a month. At first, he would only reply to Ryoto with sarcastic jabs, but lately he started to talk a little more. Alright, I want to ask about Liberator. It was unusual for Aruba to offer up a topic. I saw something about it on the news online. Things have been pretty rough in Lacuna, haven't they? Wasn't there some emergency reboot due to a massive bug or something? There was a big update, so they've been putting out fires. You're not very good at hiding it. People online are calling it a cyber attack and all of that. I don't care what they say, my lips are sealed. Realizing his sudden reluctance to speak, Ryoto broke out into a cold sweat. The circumstances surrounding the attack on Lacuna by the Black Imperial Dramon were explained to the general public as a glitch associated with a major update. It was trending on social media at one point, and users had conjured all up all sorts of guesses as to the real reason. User dissatisfaction was quelled in short order after developers, who viewed the situation very seriously, gave out some generous in-game assets as compensation, but remnants of dissent still smoldered. Come on, Araba. Do you really read the sensationalist stuff? Is that a bad thing? I can look at what I want to. I mean, nobody's saying you can't. Ryotaro sighed, remembering the last time they battled, where Araba hinted at doing something to expose the debugging team, potentially opening up them to public backlash. Even now, the fact that he was in contact with the known cheater, whose account was frozen, would be seen as problematic were it to be exposed. However, given that this info wasn't circulating the web already, Araba didn't seem to inclined to share it. Whatever it was, I'm sure the wannabe heroes leapt into action. How inspiring. Hey, cut out with that. Ryotaro lowered his voice. The entire debugging team was dispatched to deal with the Imperial Dramon. There was no doubt that everyone gave it their all on that mission. The results, however, was that the data corruption of Zenith, one of the strongest among them, and the subsequent disappearance of him and Cool Boy. Ryotaro himself was not very fond of Zenith. He wasn't a fan of his cheerful yet enigmatic demeanor, nor the fact that he jumped into the Digimon card game and from out of nowhere dethroned Owen Dreadnought, whom he looked up to. But leaving that aside, he was a bit removed from Digimon, and his cool-head judgments had led the team to victory on many occasions. He bolstered the spirits and was relied upon by other members. And then he just went missing. Even now, nobody knows his whereabouts. It was unsettling. He knew that there was nothing he could do, and if he were to take responsibility as the eldest one, he'd probably get scolded by Winner and the others. Still, the fact that he was unable to do anything about Lacuna's crisis, instead having to rely on the mysterious power manifested by the new guy, Shoto Kazuma, to resolve the situation weighed heavily on his mind. I wasn't much of a help at all. Was this a hero showing humility? Now I've seen everything. Ryotaro mumbled in an uncharacteristically reserved tone, while Araba slung sarcastic words his way. Oh, I was a bit late for that, don't you think? What was your tagline again? Wasn't it, I'll show you who the heroes and who are the villains? Why you? Ryoto's voice twisted with anger and at Araba, mocking his way of speaking. Araba seemed unperturbed by this, and suddenly dropped his tone of voice. Hold on, I need to... Alright, a little quick drink. It's sickening even now. There's not a hint of humility in that line. It's pure pride. Yeah, that's kind of the point. He didn't need to be told by Araba he wasn't a child anymore. He didn't believe that justice was something that one decides on their own. But even so, Ryotaro continued. I told you before, somebody's got to stand up, stand proud, and shout out this is justice for all the impressionable kids watching from the wings. That's what I think. Unbelievable, but... Araba let out a sigh. That pride did allow you to beat my Lucemon, the demon lord of pride himself. So don't pretend to be humbled now. It's irritating. Oh, Araba. I have to go. I have work tomorrow. I'll take off while I'm ahead. Oh, and all right. Thanks for the game. Ryotaro's polite gesture was met with a curt, knock it off by Araba. Then Ryotaro stopped him as he was about to hang up the call. By the way, Araba, why don't you use Lucemon anymore? Ever since his account got frozen, Araba had not used his old partner Lucemon even once in their online battles. Ryotaro thought that he had given up on after his defeat, but after hearing the way he spoke of Lucemon when he brought it up earlier, it didn't seem like he'd left the deck behind. In response to Ryotaro's question, Araba adopted a serious tone, absent the sarcasm from before. Right, I don't plan on using it anymore. I'm sure Lucemon would want nothing to do with me the way I am now. Ryotaro was taken aback by his response. That's when he started to understand why Araba was keeping in touch. So that's why you're fighting me, huh? To show Lucemon your old strong self. Got a problem with that? It's not enough to win once. I won't be worthy to fight alongside him until I obliterate you entirely. Huh. Well, in that case, let me know whenever you want to battle. Ryotaro happily nodded several times. Gross, I'm out. and just like that, he hung up. That's right, we are proud. Muttering quietly to himself, Ryoto kicked at the ground. He didn't train so that he could beat people up. Still, he thanked his past self for putting in the work to let his body perform in this moment. Ryoto lowered his posture and flung his fist forward, but Dino Human easily dodged it. He threw out a straight punch aimed at his torso. Wah! Dino Human's first fist smacked into the rock wall above Ryoto's head as he ducked down in a panic. Even though he threw down his sword, this was a champion-level Digimon, and one that boasts its strength. If his avatar were to take a square hit, Ryoto would be done for. Not half bad, thanks. Rising up again, he propelled himself into another punch. Overhead, Dinomon was still fending out the attacks of the dinosaur Digimon, repeating words of concern for Ryoto. We're proud. We came here from another world, and we're here to help the Digimon who are toughing it out. You guys are desperate, but it doesn't matter what you say. Dino Human kicked off the ground, sending a little flying kick towards Ryoto. He tried to dodge, but the Dragonkin's foot grazed his left shoulder, pushing his entire body back. But if we discouraged just because we were being attacked by the Digimon, that would be pathetic, however. Gritting his teeth at the pain of his left shoulder, he raised his voice. We gotta do what we gotta do. So we got no choice but to make you guys understand. It's too bad that it's just an avatar, but I'm putting my all into this. He takes off in a sprint, swinging his fist, trying to get into Dino Human's reach. Take this. This is what I believe in. The dry sound of muscle smacking against muscle echoes throughout the valley. Dino Humans caught Ryoto's fist in the palm of one hand. No matter how much they train their bodies, a person's strength will never be able to match that of a Dragonkin's Digimon. But then he realized with the Dino Human's physical capabilities, dodging his fist would be easy, or could have taken the blow to its torso, clad in steel-like muscles, and immediately delivered a counter. But now, the Dino Human chose to stop his fist using its hand, and even as time passed, it did not appear to be readying a follow-up attack. When Ryoto looked up fearfully, the Dino Human met his gaze and laughed, its blue eyes dancing with a spark of joy. Thanks. I think I understand what you're saying. Later, at Dino Human's command, the dinosaur Digimon withdrew their attack and invited Ryoto and Dinomon into their village. Dinomon kept up his guard, maintaining the Digivolution, but the exchange of fists had apparently won Ryoto and Dinomon a measure of respect from the Digimon, and they were welcome to sit around the fire. The two looked at each other in surprise at how fast things had progressed, but they were relieved to have escaped the crisis for the time being. Then, relieved, Dinomon's next step was, Yeah, Dinomon, I know already. You can spare me the lecture. I'm not so sure. It doesn't seem to sink in. No matter how many times I say it, what were you thinking, challenging a Digimon to a fist fight? I told you, I just had to do it. It worked, didn't it? And the other Digimon were watching. No, I'm going to say it all, Ryo. Every single time. It's always like this with you. What followed was a harsh lecture for Ryoto's constant brazen actions. Dinomon's harsh words, born out of concern for Ryoto, hurt to hear, but still they were reassuring. You two get along well, huh? Hey, Dino Human, I know, right? It was Dino Human who interrupted the lecture and sat down next to Ryoto. Dinomon looked like it had a thing or two to say to Dino Human as well. As it had assaulted Ryoto, Dinomon glared at the Dragonkin sullenly, but restrained itself. Is it really okay with you, Dino Human, treating us so kindly? I thought you said that life out here was really tough. Oh, it is, but you're our friends now. Honestly, you guys are either incredibly straightforward or impossible to read. I can't figure it out. Dinomon let out a great sigh, then took on a puzzled expression. I have to know, what did you mean life is tough? You also said that that's how the world is now, right? Things are tough even everywhere you go in this world, right? Right now. Is that because of the invaders from another world? When Ryoto described the characteristics of the runaway NPC, Dino Human shook its head in amazement. I'm not aware of those people. The thing that bothers us is the sudden change in weather and the constant earthquakes. That's the only thing of note lately. Seriously? Ryotaro and Dynamon looked at each other. A natural disaster had recently begun to occur in Cross Connexia. Judging by the timing, it was likely not unrelated to Unchained's plans. What on earth was Unchained thinking? And what was going on in this world? Sounds like there's much I need to investigate. Yeah, but perhaps it's best to if you took a break for the day. Dynahuman nodded in agreement with the kind words of Dynamon. That's it, you're staying the night. You can tell us all about it. I'm keen to hear about this world the human wants to take us to. I mean, I suppose we do need to tell them about Lacuna, actually. Roto stood up as though Dynahuman's words had reminded him of something and thrust out his right hand towards the dragon. You can still call me human. The name's Ryotaro Williams. Ryotaro, nice to meet you. Back at you. The setting sun over the ancient realm, Dynamon looked down at the figures of man and dragon shaking hands, bathed in orange light. Honestly, you are more of a hero than you ever thought. The old dragon whispered, whose words in the sandy wind, where they were swept away, never to be heard by their soul. Okay, this is fine. It's kind of a nice short novel chapter. Hopefully we get some other... I'm hoping next month we'll get some bigger stuff. I'm kind of curious more about Suzune, what she's going to go up to. But, this was fine. I'll see you guys next week for... what is it? 18 Part 2, which hopefully we see Ghostmon's level 7. I don't know. I could see it being delayed another week maybe, but probably not. We'll probably see it. But anyway, guys, hopefully you have a wonderful Thursday, and I'll catch you guys next time for more Digimon stuff, whatever that might be. Take care.